Right. Mic check. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live. Welcome back to the stream. How's everyone doing? How are we feeling today? Everyone's good. Awesome, awesome. Mic check, mic check. All good. Camera check. Alrighty, got chat open. I've got the stream running. All systems coming online right now. Very nice. Awesome, guys. Welcome. It is Tuesday today, and in Tuesday we do have an interesting move that we're going to be seeing some liquidity today, simply because yesterday it was a U.S. bank holiday, and on bank holidays there is usually no liquidity. However, today there is no news. It's not a bank holiday. So a lot of traders are definitely looking at the charts right now, and they're looking at what is about to happen. They're looking for moves to change the algorithm that we're in right now. We are ranging. We are still ranging. It's been 2 weeks of constant ranging, and the 2 weeks has been killing us. We've been waiting for a very long time, and these 2 weeks have just simply been killing us, and I can't take it anymore. Any more than you guys can't take it. So, I'm thinking of completely cleaning up the chart. I mean, we are still in this consolidation stage, right? And I've got all the lines drawn, but I'm thinking of cleaning up the chart. Do you guys think I should clean up the chart and start over? We can have a fresh analysis, or should I just keep it as is? Because everything so far is perfect. This is picture perfect. Let's also take a look at gold. What's going on with gold? All right, it seems like we have rejected here on a 1 hour time frame. Seems like gold might actually be bearish from this point on. Gold might actually want to go lower. Based on what I'm seeing over here, it just seems like it wants to go lower. We got to see what happens. We've got a market structure shift that's gone on over here. Taking out these lows, massive dump, price comes down, fills the high, fills the 50% imbalance over here, and it goes down into the 4 hour fair value gap. However, the question is that we need to ask ourselves is it going to go lower or is it going to go higher? But considering the fact that it's already reached this level and it's rejecting off of this level, there's a nice probability setup that it's probably going to go a little bit lower from here. Interesting. It could also be a liquidity sweep, and we can't tell for sure for the time being. For the time being, it seems like we need to wait for this 1 hour candle to close. Although we've had one rejection here and one rejection here, and this one almost just about fills the imbalance that's created on gold. How's everyone doing today? Where are my favorite people? My favorite people, Oriane and Sheen and Cream. My main people. All right, so let's see what else is going on. Let's take a look at other coins. Earlier, I was looking at XRP, and I'm considering just start charting on it. So let's start charting on XRP. This would be honestly the first. It's a first for me to chart on XRP, but it'll certainly not be the last time. So let's take a look and see what we can come from out of this. All right. So we have over here It's a bearish structure, the bearish trend. So let's see. Obviously the highs is here, and then another one here. Let me get closer. We've got a 4-hour high over here. Over here. Over here. All right, there's a couple of highs over here. Interesting enough, XRP does have quite a lot of levels. I've just noticed this. Very interesting. Alrighty, so we have reached this point over here. So now we need to mark the low over here. And then this low over here is the actual low. Alright, take a closer look. We've had a bear structure, market structure shift happen over here. So XRP is looking bullish. It did reach this resistance level over here. And it might come down over here in this range. Let's take a look at it on a lower time frame. Okay, let's take a look at it on a lower time frame. We've got a 1-hour time frame. Let's see. Okay. Let's stretch the chart out so we can see clearly. So we can see an imbalance. This is a 4-hour imbalance over here. But we need to see if there is a 1-hour, and the only one I see closest is this one. So we can double layer it. So obviously the darker one is the 1-hour. Okay. And then this is the low of the 1-hour, which is getting respected multiple times. 1-hour low. 1-hour resistance. This is actually support level. Okay. Now we're looking at it on a 5-minute time frame. We could see quite some resistance here on multiple accounts. Over here. Yeah, price has bounced back over here multiple times. 1, 2, 3. This is a very good sign that it wants to go higher. So we already know that the market structure shift has happened on the 4-hour time frame. So this would mean I'll be putting my analysis here as bullish. And then since it is bullish, because of this high was taken out, there were imbalances, which is created over here. There's also another one over here on a 1-hour time frame, which is on a 4-hour time frame. Actually, I don't want to mark the imbalances on a 4-hour. It's always better to look at it from a 1-hour. 1-hour time frame is always so much better. Okay, so let's see. This one is on February 14. Take a look at February 14. I see. Okay. Over here, another imbalance on the 1-hour time frame. Price very likely to come down over here to fill it. 1-hour FVG. Okay. Let's stretch this out a little bit. This one as well. All right. So XRP is done. It's a good place to buy, to be honest. since there's quite a bit of resistance over here. Okay, so now that's done with XRP. Let's take a look back at the dollar. Let's see what the dollar's been doing on a 1 hour time frame. We could see that the dollar is rising, it's going higher. Let's see the overall trend. Mark the low, mark the high. Downtrend over here. Okay. All right, so we are currently in a bullish move for the dollar. The dollar is bullish. Price came down and then it took out this high over here, but doesn't get confirmed until here, which does leave an imbalance, which has gotten filled over here, which means that the dollar is bullish. The clear indication that the dollar is bullish. All right, so now that a market structure shift has happened over here and this imbalance gets filled over here. Let's stretch this out. It completely dominates it. So let's go on a 1 hour time frame. Or let's actually go back to the 4 hour time frame so I can mark the market structure shift point. All right, which would be here. Okay, market structure shift. All right, and we're about to get there. And from there, we're going to go on the 1 hour time frame to see if there are any imbalances. We're looking at the dollar for anyone's wondering. I'm going to be placing the canvas, the watermark, just going to make it a little bit brighter so you can see exactly what I'm looking at. So DXY 1 hour. Okay. Okay, so we're looking at it from a 1 hour time frame. Market structure shift has happened over there. Any lower imbalances? There's one over here, but that's been filled. And this has been filled. Okay, so in other words, the imbalances have already been filled, so we don't need to mark them. So let's take a look back at the 4 hour time frame. And now that we're looking at it from a 4 hour time frame, we could start to see the big picture over here. Market structure shift has happened over here, and price also has done a market structure shift over here. So this would be the high over here. Very interesting enough. Price literally comes down to it. Lower high taken out. Market structure shift, but too bullish. Okay, so you can see over here, this lower high has been taken out, all right, by this candle. And then it created a tiny imbalance over here, which gets filled almost immediately. And then price is taken off. And now that price is taken off, it came back down to the lower high that was taken. Excuse me. It came back down to the lower high that was taken out perfectly with two nice clean rejection wicks, and now it's bouncing off to the next level that it's taken out. So I'll put this as second lower high taken out. Yep. So now we have the second lower high that's taken out and the price is coming towards it. And let's just see what happens. We're looking at it on a 5-minute time frame right now. Let's see. Yep, relative equal lows. Price literally closes right above it. So whatever happened here, this is showing you that the dollar has gone up and everything that's against the dollar has gone down. So it'll be an interesting time to look at. So let's just say February 11, 6 a.m. Okay, February 11, 6 a.m. So if we go ahead and we look at February 11, 6 a.m. Let's see, February 11, we're looking at Bitcoin right now, February 11, 6 a.m. February 11, 6 a.m. Right there. Okay, you could start to see the dollar's gone up from here, February 11, 6 a.m. The dollar's gone up from here, and ever since then, price has been it's done a sweep over here and started coming down, but it's still in consolidation. So it didn't really affect Bitcoin. Interestingly enough, let's see the February 11, 6 a.m. Just about to get there. There we go. Yeah, makes sense. So price has gone up from February 11, 6 a.m. And then over here, gold has done massive amounts of dumps. And it continued to stay in the range. You know what's interesting is that even though the dollar is pumping and there was a market structure shift, naturally, common sense, if gold goes up, dollar goes down. Because you can see over here, it's gold against the US dollar. And it's the same thing with Bitcoin. So instead, what do we see? When the dollar goes up, I mean, if you look at Forex, you're going to realize, like in Forex, I'm pretty sure, pretty confident you're going to see, like, for example, Euro USD, we're going to go down to February 11. I have a very strong feeling that there was moves. February 11, 6 a.m. Okay, so let's take a Euro USD. There we go. See, it's very interesting. It's very, very interesting. So if you pay attention to this part, you're going to realize something. On February 11 at 6 a.m., the US dollar completely took off. Market structure shift happened, and it just went aggressively on the upside. So everything that's against the US dollar has got to go down, logically speaking. But if you look at it in Forex, you will see it reacting exactly that way. As you can see, price came down from here, 6 a.m., 555, rejection, and it completely dumped. I mean, this is a lot. This is a big move. This is a massive move. Massive. So that's 860 pips. That's a big move. And price has been ranging ever since, but it did create a massive dump. Now, if you look at Bitcoin and gold, which are both against the US dollar, you'll notice that it didn't dump. Instead, it did sweeps, like it came back down, it went down, it's done sweeps, but it came back up and it stayed in a consolidation range. What does that show? What does that tell me? Is that even though they're the opposites, it still shows me that gold and Bitcoin, both of them want to go higher. Gold is exhausted from its bearish move and it's now bullish. And Bitcoin is completely exhausted from the sellers and now it's looking to go higher. Even if there are people who are saying that Bitcoin is going to go to 59K and further, that may happen after a bit of a bullish run. Because for the time being, Bitcoin has been dumping for a very long time. So it is in a stage right now where even though the sellers keep trying to push it down, it keeps rejecting and coming back up constantly, over and over and over again. Let me reduce this to 10. Yeah, I think, no, maybe that's too dark, 15. Okay. Alrighty, let me put this to 15 as well. I feel like the background is a bit too dark, so I'm just gonna change the background just a tiny bit real quick. How are we feeling, guys? Is anyone in a trade? Anyone actively in a trade? Does anyone have a second opinion? I don't see anybody chatting, so if you guys have a second opinion, do share it. I'm always eager to hear what others have to say. We've got the market opening up in 11 minutes. So let's see. Also, let me take a look at the news. We don't have any US news for today. But based on the news that I'm looking at on Masari.io, a lot of traders believe that from its October all-time high is approximately 126,000. There's a lot of fear, but people are very optimistic, and I agree. I see a lot of fear, and I'm also fearful that Bitcoin might go lower, but I'm quite optimistic that it could go to a much higher range. Much higher. Let's see. Looking at a 15-minute time frame. Looking like there are some rejections over here. Interesting enough, guys, in this trade that I was in yesterday, it reached all the way up, and because I was bullish, I've only taken excuse me, because it was bullish, I've only taken partials in this trade, and I moved my break even, moved my stops to break even, because I truly believed that it was going to break even higher. And the partials I took was not enough. I only took 30% of my trade. Usually I take 80% partials, but in this particular day, I have only taken 30% because I truly believed that price was going to break out higher. In my mind, I just truly believe that Bitcoin is taking out this high and getting out of this consolidation range yesterday. But instead, price came back all the way up to the opening of this imbalance over here. It filled it to the T, like literally perfectly, and with a little sweep, and it's come back down, and it's also rejected, and it's done another liquidity sweep over here. So these rejections, I mean, you could clearly see when you see rejection at the top, rejection at the bottom, rejection at the bottom, bottom, and then at the top. And then here, this is a massive indecisive candle. Price is trying to go down, completely rejected. And then again, the same thing, completely rejected. Another rejection. And now we are looking at this 4-hour candle, which is going to close in 38 minutes. And it also has a rejection wick on the downside. So anything can happen in the next 38 minutes, but at the time being, there is also a rejection over here. So what does this tell me? It just means that for me, all I see is that Bitcoin wants to go higher. It does not want to go lower. It's trying to push and go higher. So let's see what happens. We need it to get out of this box. And I believe today might be the day. I have a very strong feeling that today we're going to be seeing big moves finally, because it's really, truly been a while, guys. It's truly been quite some time since we've had any real moves happening in the market. Let's take a look. BTC short order from yesterday until now. A long order. Okay. Where did you enter? At what level did you enter? Let's take a look at it together. At what price level did you enter on BTC? So that way we can just take a look together and see precisely where is the best entry points for you. Very interesting stuff that's going on. This ranging market really needs to stop. It's been quite some time, guys. I'm pretty certain that it's going to break out eventually, sometime this week. It's got to be this week, because last week there was not much going on, but this week there's quite a lot of news that's come out, and it's revealing a lot of discrepancies in the Federal Reserve, and a lot of people are moving their investments into gold and Bitcoin at this point of time, and other coins as well, but mostly gold and Bitcoin. So you could start to see the liquidity coming in. You could start to see prices having bigger moves. You could see that. Bitcoin is taking off. 68812 yesterday afternoon. 688. Oh, that's pretty high. Okay. 68812. All right, so you're probably a bit low right now. Oh wow, you've been holding. You've been holding your trade. Weren't you afraid of this move over here? Because your trade is somewhere here, 68812, somewhere around here. This is where your entry is. That must have been scary. But I'm guessing since you're still in the trade, that means you entered with a small small lot size. Yeah, I have a good feeling about today's breakout. I'm super excited for that. We are in the middle of the consolidation box. Super fun times. We are dead center in the middle of the consolidation box. Let's see how gold is doing. Gold is going lower and lower and lower. Seems like gold is bearish today. Might be. We might see a bearish push or a bullish push in gold. Absolutely no analysis on gold right now. It is currently rejecting a push on a 4-hour time frame. It's rejecting a push on the upside twice now. However, on a lower time frame, also it is bearish on a lower time frame. If you look at the 1-hour time frame, it is bearish. It's creating lower highs everywhere you go. So I want to remove some lines. So let me just take a closer look. Okay, I feel like gold right now has way too many lines and I need to clean up the chart. So let's do that. Let's clean up the chart. All right, let's look at the 1-hour consolidation zone. Yeah, this is the demand zone. Okay, this stays. All right, that stays. We go back to the 4-hour time frame. Let's see. On the 4-hour time frame, it's still bullish. Okay, which means that this is a lower high over here. Okay. Sorry, higher low. Okay, if this higher low gets taken out, this one over here, then the bullish structure in gold will end. If this higher low gets taken out. But for the time being, you should be looking for longs on gold, even though in the hourly it looks bearish. It's bearish with resistance. You can see the resistance. Imbalance fills. Okay, so let's go back on the 4-hour time frame. Having hedge orders could work. It could work, but the thing about hedge orders is if you enter a buy position and a sell position, here's the interesting thing. If you enter a buy and sell position at the same time, what happens is if you are up $100, or let's just increase the realistic numbers. If you're up $1,000 on your buy trade and your sell trade, you're down minus $1,000, then you're not really profitable. You're not making money from that. However, what if you have a $10,000 account and you hedged, you did a 1-lot trade and you're up $1,000, you click buy and sell, and in the buy order you're up $1,000 and in the sell order you're down $1,000. Now, since price has gone up, you're probably thinking, okay, I'm going to close my sell order and I will lose $1,000, so now I have $9,000 because now the buy trade is going and you have $1,000, but you didn't close the $1,000. And instead, where you closed the sell order, price has completely dumped from where it was. It was plus 1,000 and now you lost 1,000 from the sell order, and then now it starts coming down to zero. In that case, you end up losing the $1,000 and you didn't get anything. There's also another thing. What if you are in a buy trade and you're up $1,000 and you're also in a sell trade and you're down $1,000, and then you see resistance happening? Okay, so then you secure your profit, the $1,000 that you're up, and you leave the sell order open. You secure your profits and you close it and you secure the $1,000. So now your account has $11,000, but you are in minus 1,000. So you're still in 10,000. Now what happens if that point does not start coming down? Instead, it starts going even higher. So now your minus 1,000 is going to become minus 1,200, minus 1,400, 1,600. It is a very stressful thing to hedge. Your best bet is to trade by buying or selling, because at the end of the day, you only have two choices. Is price going up or is price going down? You literally just have these two choices. And to figure out where the price is going, the best way to do it is to look at your bias. You do these lines. You look at it on a 4-hour time frame, and you start asking these questions. Where are the lines that I drew? Is price bullish? Is price bearish? So for me, I'm bullish right now. So for me, when I go in a 5-minute time frame, I am looking to buy. I'm not looking to sell. Even though price is going down, as you can see, I'm not looking to take any trades right now. Instead, what I'm looking for is when price starts doing this, and then a lower high happens. Like for example, today, this morning, if you'd like, I could also share it in Discord. If you guys want to join our Discord group, you're going to be able to access our education, our mentorship, and also our trading results and stuff. I was actually going to be posting my result today, but if you see this morning over here, price has done a liquidity sweep, and because of this, I waited. And then as soon as I saw that price has come over here, and then this candle right here, this is exactly to show you the precision, I entered exactly over here. And I placed my stops underneath this candle. And I've secured all this. I've secured until here. This was my trade for today. I have a nice 4.9. Let's just run it up to a 5-to-1 risk to reward ratio. And for me, that was clean because I know that on the 4-hour time frame, price is bullish. But any other trader would be looking at the chart right now and saying it's bearish. So they're going to be selling. Now, this is an example that your own eyes are lying to you. Sometimes you look at the chart and it's bearish, and then you click sell and price starts going up, and you're going to ask yourself, why? I don't understand. Why did this happen? It doesn't make sense. But it actually makes a lot of sense because your eyes are lying to you. A lot of people, they open the charts and they go look at 15 minutes and they look at 5 minutes, and that's it. They don't actually open the chart and they go on the higher time frame. They don't look at the 4-hour time frame or the daily time frame. They don't see these things. And when they don't see these things, what happens is they completely miss out on what's actually happening. Their bias becomes completely wrong. And then they end up looking at the chart, they're confused, and then they zoom out and they look in 1 hour and 4 hour, and then they say, it was bullish. People, generally, traders are impulsive people, a lot of them, which is why 95% of them are not profitable. And the reason why 95% of traders are not profitable because they're impulsive. And this impulsive traders comes from looking at the lower time frame, going on the 1 minute, going on the 5 minutes, and they're just thinking, okay, I'm going to buy, I'm going to sell, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And they don't actually look at the big picture. Because what does the big picture show us? The big picture shows us that right now, in this exact point in time, gold is still bullish. And because gold is still bullish, it looks bearish for us. But for me, it's bullish. And because it's bullish, while there's a mini downtrend inside the bullish structure, you can see there are relative equal lows. And because there are relative equal lows, when you go on the 5-minute time frame, what I did is as soon as the market did a market structure shift, which happens over here, I'll mark it for you. Okay, blue candle, red candle. So you mark this level over here. This is a market structure shift right there. You see that, guys? A market structure shift to the buyer side. And since the market for me is already bullish, and I know that the trend is already bullish, I'm looking to buy. I'm not looking to sell. So in the 5-minute time frame, a small market structure shift has happened here, followed by a liquidity sweep happened, and then a market structure shift happened. When that happened, immediately at the imbalance over here, this is where I entered this candle right here, because there was an imbalance, this tiny imbalance that's created over here after the market structure shift right there. And because of that, that's where I entered my trade. Let me increase this background a little bit. Right there. This is where I entered because of the imbalance. Right there. Easy enough. And I placed my stops right underneath the displacement candle that created the market structure shift. So I got a clean move today. And that's all I'm doing. That's all I'm doing. So that is my analysis for gold, and that's how you guys should be trading. You shouldn't be trading impulsively. You need to have your eyes on the charts. You need to have your eyes on the higher time frame so you can understand exactly what's going on. And then always important to keep a note on your chart to give you a reminder of what exactly is happening in the market, if it's bullish or if it is bearish. For me, I've entered in a trade right here, all right? Since the market opened right now, and I can clearly see there's relative equal lows over here, and my overall momentum, my overall structure is bullish. I have already entered a trade just now while we're speaking, and I've entered a buy trade. And my stops, it's very little. I've entered over here. Okay, so this is literally my entry over here. And my stops is all the way here, just underneath the wick. It's a small, tiny rejection. Why? Because this is where I'm anticipating price to be going right now. Why? Because the price is bullish. Overall, gold is bullish. So if this setup fails for me, I already had my 5-to-1 risk to reward ratio win for today. I'm not upset to play with my profits right now, because at the end of the day, look at my risk management, guys. I have a trade that I'm in right now, literally 12-to-1. 12-to-1, it's not bad. It's not a bad trade. It is not a bad trade. So as a result, I'm using proper risk management. If this stops me out, it's not enough to make me blow my account or to make me sad or depressed or any of these things, because this is how risk management works. You use simple rules and you stick to them, and you understand where the market is going and you just stick to your rules. That's all you guys got to be doing. And that's it. So market right now has just opened, and it seems like the liquidity is only just piling right now. You could see the buyers and the sellers are both inside the market, and they're both trying to buy and sell aggressively. So with that, we're going to be hoping to see massive moves. I'm thinking that liquidity is going to be coming in at around 9 a.m. New York time. I see that the liquidity is piling up right now, but I believe a surge of liquidity is going to be coming in pretty soon. And also, you could see Bitcoin has come down over here, and it is still ranging. I mean, it did create a higher high over here, but it's still in a range. So let us see what happens with BTC. All right, let's take a look at the dollar as well. Might as well see what's going on with the dollar. Seems like it's reached a point of resistance right now. Going back on the 4-hour, it's, yes, second lower high that's been taken out since it is bullish right now. It seems like it's reached a resistance. Let's see what happens over here. If it breaks above, that means the dollar is going to go higher. There is no news today, so there's no actual analysis or calculations that anyone needs to take based on fundamentals. Fundamentally, the market is moot, but technically the market is moving. So I do see liquidity piling up, and this, for a candle on Bitcoin, took out this high right here, and you can see the downtrend has slowly shifted. Prices come here, lower low was formed, and then came down again. This is the second level, and then now price has taken out this high, which means there was an internal market structure shift on the 5-minute time frame, which is great, because this is what we're anticipating. We're anticipating Bitcoin to go up to 100K in the coming weeks, and perhaps, fingers crossed, this is probably where it might begin. All right, guys. Is there any other coins you guys would like me to take a look at? This is my analysis on Bitcoin and gold right now. So we're just going to have to wait and see what happens next. Gold might come down and sweep liquidity, as it always does, because that's what gold is known for. And once it sweeps liquidity, it might then and only then start going higher. So let's just put a line over here, just short term, a 5-minute lower high. That's it. Okay, that's it. So that is my analysis on gold and Bitcoin. Let's see the stock market. The stock market is currently also not moving. There is a bit of liquidity over here. You can see a market structure shift happening on a 1 minute time frame. Let's see gold again. Gold is coming down the second time to a level of resistance. So perhaps the dollar might go down from here. And if the dollar goes down from here, this is a good indication that gold and Bitcoin might have its push from here. We've got hundreds of thousands of traders worldwide looking at the charts right now as we're speaking. And we are looking for a power play. We are looking for moves, ladies and gentlemen. How we doing, guys? How we doing? How's things? How's things with your trading journey? Anyone having questions? You can see right now my gold trade is on its way. It's reaching the point of resistance. It's reacting to it. Let's see what happens. Reaching the point of resistance, and it's reacting to it. We want to see a power play over here. We want to see this 5-minute lower high taken out to confirm that it's going to go higher from here. So what do we have tomorrow? Tomorrow's news, we've got quite a bit of news. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We've got 10 US news tomorrow, and only one of them matter. The FOMC meeting that's going to be happening quite late in the US, probably around 2 p.m. the US time. That seems like it's the most important meeting out of all of them. And the rest are building permits, housing starts, capacity utilization rate, industrial production, stuff that's not really that important. Ethereum, yeah, I'd love to check Ethereum. I started taking a look at Ethereum a lot, so it's always nice to take a look at Ethereum. All right, so we are bearish with Ethereum since the last thing I've marked. All right, and let's look at what's going on over here. So these lower highs over here are forming. Price goes up and it hasn't taken out this lower high. So until it takes out this lower high, we are bearish. And you can see relative equal lows over here, which means there is momentum for price to go higher. But for the time being, based on what I'm looking at, Ethereum is still, I mean, we can remove this imbalance since it's completely filled. But Ethereum is still quite bearish. Nothing's changed. There are relative equal lows, so it's a good sign. When there are relative equal lows, it just means that price tries to keep going lower and it gets rejected. And the relative equal lows are here, so I'll mark it with a box over here and then just drag it out. You can see that over here, price, it's just, you know, there's relative equal lows. Price came down, went back up, came back down, went back up, tried to push, the buyers tried to push, and then it came back down again, and then it went back up. So you could say that it's bearish, you know, kind of the same as Bitcoin, bearish with bullish momentum. That would be a good analogy to name it. So it is still bearish overall because it needs to break this level. However, it is it does have bullish momentum. Yeah. Bitcoin is still not moving. Bearish with bullish momentum. We need to see a break over here. That's where we need to see the break. 71,861. That's very important to see a break over there. And then gold, let's take a look at what's happening in gold again. Gold has reached to this point of resistance over there. It hasn't broken through. Actually, it might. Looks pretty promising. I see a imbalance on a 1 minute time frame, which is pretty nice. All right, price just tested it. Is it going to break it? Is it going to break it? It looks like it might break. I mean, we still have 40 seconds. It might just kiss the surface and then come back down. as you can see. All right. Now you're going to see a lot of traders thinking right now, like, why is gold going up? I don't understand. Gold is bearish because they're looking only on the short time frame. See, gold is bearish. Why is it not? Why is it going up? I don't understand. I'm selling. But then, you know, you see this bullish momentum because on a higher time frame, on a 4-hour time frame, you can clearly see that price is completely bullish. I mean, yeah, bullish. It's still bullish. So in order for price to become bearish, it needs to take out this higher low. Exactly where I put the bullish word. When it takes out this higher low on a 4-hour time frame, then the flip will come from bullish to bearish. And I just got an idea. I always put something on the chart, bullish or bearish, but then now I'm going to start placing the word bullish or bearish precisely at the level where it's going to flip. So for instance, right now it's bullish, and this is the level that it needs to break, 4,878.68. If it breaks this level, then it becomes bearish. So I'm going to be leaving the word over there. So as you can see on the 1-minute time frame, what happened? Price came exactly at this high and it rejected it, and now price is coming back down. Quite likely it's going down. It's quite likely it's going to go down to the 1-minute imbalance came over here and go higher, or possibly go down and target lower. Yes, Ariane, you always have to check the 4-hour time frame. That is the best thing. You know, I'll tell you one thing. I was unprofitable for a very long time, for quite the longest time, and the only part of my life where I started reaching consistent profitability is when I stopped only looking at the 5-minute and 1-minute and 15-minute. It's when I started doing my lines on the 4-hour time frame, because a lot of traders, they end up charting, because we talked about it earlier, right? People are impulsive traders. So a lot of traders, they go into the 5-minute time frame and they start charting their lines on the 5-minute time frame, or 15 minutes or 30 minutes. But the reality is you need to do this on the 4-hour, because that is what the market makers do. This is what the hedge funds and the institutional traders do. They don't want to risk a lot of capital over a 5-minute time frame. They will only risk it on a bigger time frame, such as the 4-hour, which is why less is more. Less trades, more profit. That's the best way to trade. So yes, you need to always place your entries on the 5-minute time frame, but always do your lines on the 4-hour time frame. You try this, guys, and come back to me. Give me feedback on Discord. The links are in the video below, or the QR code that you see over here on my right. So join our Discord, share your analysis, see if you're learning from what we're talking about here, because on the 4-hour time frame, it is so clean, where you'll notice liquidity comes on these levels. If it's not on a 4-hour time frame, you're going to find that price is going to spike into it or run right through it like a train. But on a 4-hour time frame, you will find that the levels are completely respected. What else? The market doesn't have Ramadan holiday. No, it doesn't. That's a funny joke. No, the market is open every day, regardless of religious holidays, regardless of birthdays, regardless of Christmas, regardless of holidays, regardless of everything and anything. The market's always open. So even in the end of times, you're going to find that the market is open. Even in the end of the world, the market will be open. The market will be open as long as you live, and way past after you're alive, and for your children and their generations and their generation, the market's always open, because in the world, the essence of life is to buy and sell. People exchange, people buy and people sell. And in the exchange of these goods, it will never stop. You'll always find there's always a buyer somewhere and there's always a seller. I mean, when you go out food shopping, you are buying water You are buying meat, and there is a seller of meat, and there's a seller of water. And these prices, they go up and down just like the market. So it's the same thing. So even in Ramadan, you're not going to find the supermarket is closed. You know, buyers are always going to be looking for sellers. There's always an exchange. Why do I think the price those weeks is stuck in a box? And I think that price is stuck in a box for one reason, and it's because of geopolitical events. Geopolitical events is the main driver of why price is doing what it does. And if you notice that if you go in Trump era, like during Trump's presidency, you're going to realize that the news completely, like, it moves the market aggressively. During like Joe Biden's era, during Joe Biden's presidency, you'll notice that while he was the president, the market was trending. It was either going up or down, and that's it. It's stable. Because there wasn't really much going on in the US. The headlines was always somewhere else. But right now, the headlines is always Trump, Trump, Trump. And because we're always talking about Trump, the market reacts to Trump. And right now in the Middle East, there are a lot of talks between Middle Eastern countries such as Iran, such as the UAE, such as Saudi, such as Egypt, such as the entire region. We're all having like peace talks. They're all talking about stability and peace. But then there's always the threat of war. So people end up buying Bitcoin and gold when there is danger in the world. So price will then go up for these things. But then if the US government, they're printing more money and dollar is doing good, then the price of these things go down. However, overall, right now we're in a very weird situation because we are in a phase where there's either going to be war or peace. We don't know. That uncertainty is precisely why price is in a range, because the trend comes from global news, global stability. And is there peace right now? Maybe. Is there war right now? Maybe. So all of these things are huge factors, and these are all fundamentals. These are things that move the market. Technicals is a great tool to understand when to enter, when to exit. Fundamentals are the main drivers of the market. So that's why I believe that we are in a box right now. Any other questions? Are we going to get stopped out today? We're probably going to get stopped out by a liquidity sweep, aren't we, guys? That was up a healthy amount. I was happy. But it looks like it's getting rejected as well. We want price to go higher, so let's see. So let's take a look at the stock market. Wow, that is fantastic. Guys, the stock market is taking off. You can see NASDAQ is pushing through, and you can also see the Dow Jones is pushing through, and the S&P 500 is pushing through, which is great. And the dollar is probably, this means the dollar is going down. So let's take a look at the dollar. All right, the dollar is going down. However, it did take out this lower high that was previously taken out. So if this is the case, this would very likely mean that price is going to go lower because the dollar is going higher. If we're going to go look at it at a 1 hour time frame, you can see in the next 5 minutes, we're going to understand what is going to happen. We're going to understand whether gold or Bitcoin is going to go higher or not, depending on this particular candle on the dollar exchange. So let's just see. We got 5 minutes and 20 seconds to see what is going to happen on the dollar. Ethereum also looks like it's pushing. Bitcoin looks like it is building liquidity, but it's still undecisive. There is clear liquidity. You guys can see that. You can see prices moving from 67,000 to 68,000, and there is a lot of liquidity being injected into the market right now as we speak. However, nothing is for certain yet, because we are waiting for the dollar to either break through or come and reject. So on the 5-minute time frame, here's something very important you guys need to pay attention to. On the 5-minute time frame, you could clearly see that the dollar has broken above this level, which means it's bullish. However, on a 5-minute time frame, you got to understand liquidity sweeps happen on the 5-minute time frame more often than any other time frame. So usually what this means, when you see price breaking above a level, there might be a strong reversal. It might come down, like it might just simply dump from here. It might go for an aggressive dump all the way down here, simply because we're only on a 5-minute time frame. And if we're on a 5-minute time frame, that just simply means that this is very likely going to be a reversal. It really just depends on a 1-hour time frame, which we are going to find out in 3 minutes. If this candle closes past this level, then it's safe to assume that the dollar is going to go up, and gold and Bitcoin is probably going to go lower. But recently, we've also noticed something very interesting. Bitcoin and gold are not going in the same opposite direction as the dollar. The dollar is going up, and so is Bitcoin and gold. So they're not in correlation with each other, which means what? Which means that the dollar is being pumped, it's being inflated. Meanwhile, gold and Bitcoin is still trying to go higher. It's still trying to push and still trying to get higher. So let's see. Let's take a look at BTC. BTC is still ranging. Let's take a look at gold. I got stopped out on gold, which is fine. It's a very small, tight risk management plan that I have over here, which is fine. I did not lose them a lot. So we can start to see that the liquidity is coming in for gold. This could be a liquidity sweep. So let's take a look at what happens next from here. All right. On a 1-minute time frame, we've got this sweep coming in. Now the question is price going to go lower? Overall, we already know that on a 1-hour time frame, gold is bearish, but overall, we are still bullish. So for me right now, this is the level that I want to see if price is going to break. This is the very important part. This is the most important part. If it breaks and closes below over here, then gold officially becomes bearish. However, if it rejects over here, then you're going to have the cleanest move all the way up to this supply zone, because right now we are exactly at the point of interest where there are relative equal lows. And these relative equal lows are very, very good to see what's going to happen from here. So let's just see. Price is going to go down into this higher low over here. The lower high taken out is fine. It got rejected from there. Now we are targeting the higher low. This is really exciting. I'm so happy right now. This is so good because I haven't seen this kind of liquidity in so long, guys. I have not seen this kind of liquidity in quite some time. So I'm really pleased to see this playing out for me, because now that this is looking like it's going to go lower, that means gold is going to have a big bearish move all the way down to 4,402. That would be its primal target. All right, so we see it's broken over here. Let's see what happens in 3 seconds over here. All right, is it breaking? It did break, but however, there is a bit of a rejection. We want to see a bigger dump, guys. More liquidity in stock, less in BTC, maybe. No, the liquidity is now being pumped all over, across all stocks and market. Everyone is right now trading. Everybody is right now on the charts trading. This is the perfect time because there are no news. This is all purely technical. This is one of the best. This is like this is a trader's paradise. Traders, they love to trade on these kind of days. In these kind of days, it's just the best because there's no news. You don't have to worry about fundamental liquidity coming in. This is purely price action, guys. So let's see. We've got 10 seconds to see what's going to happen on the DXY. And it looks like it's closing above. We've got 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second, and the dollar has indeed closed above. And because the dollar has closed above, you're going to start to see gold going even lower. All right, so here we have a dump, as you can see, and gold is going to retrace and it's going to continue dumping. So now for me, I'm going to be adding a limit order right over here. Okay, right over there. I'm not going to put it exactly on the line because sometimes price likes to play with you and it doesn't go exactly on the line. I'm going to be placing it right over here. All right. And then I'll be placing my stops right above the recent high over here. Okay. Take a look on a 5-minute time frame. This looks good. This looks like it's the 50% box. Let's find the middle point. Okay, the middle point is right here. This is where the imbalance is likely going to fill. All right, perfect. So I'm going to be looking to sell gold today, guys. Gold is bearish officially. It's going to bleed out until the lower high. That's at 4,812. That is where it's heading. So for me, I've got my limit orders placed over here. And now all I need to do is wait for gold to retrace and come back. Does this mean it's going to come back? No. Sometimes gold just dumps and it keeps going and there's nothing you can do about it. And if that's the case, all you got to do is sit and wait and do nothing and come back the next day. But if it does retrace, then at least I sold at the best possible price with the smallest risk, and I catch all the big move that it's about to do. So this is a really good sign that gold is going down. I saw in the news today earlier that there was a meeting with American officials and Iranian officials, and they have moved towards like a nuclear peace deal. And they were talking about peace and all these things that, you know, Trump is on a plane. He's on a plane and he's going to have meetings with Iranians talking about peace. So I think the meeting's either in Oman or in Geneva. I'm not sure. There are meetings happening ongoing right now. And the meetings are all pro-peace. It's looking good. So when there is peace, gold prices is going down. So this is what's happening right now, and the dollar is going up. So now that the dollar is going up, you're also going to see on currencies, for those of you who are interested in currencies, you're going to see that since the dollar is going up, everything opposite of the dollar is going to be going down. So see, this is Great British Pound against the US dollar. So voila, you see it going down and dumping. Same thing with Euro USD, down and dumping. Same thing with Australian dollar and US dollar. Dumping. USD against the Canadian dollar, dumping. So it's just a cycle. You understand the dollar and you master how to read the charts on the dollar exchange, then you're going to be able to continue and take profitable trades from there. Alrighty, so here is the move. BTC still ranging. God, sometimes I hate Bitcoin. This is really frustrating. I really want to see a play over here. I need to see a power play. We need Bitcoin to get out of this consolidation box, this box over here between 65,800 and 71,500. This is so depressing. It's frustrating. We're seeing moves happening all across the board, but we're not seeing moves happening on Bitcoin. So let's just keep our eyes on gold and see what happens. So as you can see on gold, we are seeing a lot of liquidity coming in, and on the 1 hour time frame you can clearly see that price has broken below this level. That changes the structure to bearish. We are officially bearish in gold. This is good. This is good. Now that my loved ones, the love of my life, is probably watching right now and telling me, hey, Faisal, you need to buy me gold because gold is dumping. So unfortunately, I guess I'm going to have to buy a lot of gold right now because it is dumping. This is good news. This is good news for everybody. It's bad news for the people who own gold, but it's great news for people who want to start buying gold, because gold right now is looking like it's going to be bearish. All right, so we have officially 55 more minutes for this 4-hour candle to close. There is a very high possibility that it might close over here underneath this line, and then this bearish structure is going to be official and it's going to be done. Yes, Iran did say they have good progress with the United States, which is really, oh my God, your long order is minus 40%. That's crazy. You need to place stop losses, Oriane. You need to place stop losses because you should be risking, like, if you're aggressively trading and you place stop losses, it just protects your account. You'll feel so much better knowing that your account is protected because you can't always be right, and it's okay to be wrong. It's being wrong is part of the process. You know, being wrong is part of trading. You can't always be right. The moment you accept that, that's when you start managing your risk much better. All right, so let's see the 4-hour time frame. I honestly thought that the 4-hour time frame closed. Didn't close yet. So I'm gonna just keep this bullish again for the time being because I made a slight judgment error, guys. Only because I thought I was looking at the 4-hour time frame. Unfortunately, I was looking at the 1-hour time frame. On the 1-hour time frame, it did break below, which is a strong indication that the price is going to go lower. However, on the 4-hour time frame, which gives you the best confirmations, it looks like it was a liquidity sweep. It looks like price just swept liquidity and it's taking off from here. And if that is the case, guys, if that is the truth, then we are looking, I mean, this is a clean rejection. If that is the truth, guys, then we are looking for a clear reversal where price is going to start going much higher and it's going to be targeting even higher. But that's something we can't tell for sure until we see what happens on the 4-hour time frame. 4-hour time frame, that is where we see, that's where we can anticipate if it's bullish or not. I am hoping, fingers crossed, I am hoping that price closes above this level of 4,878, because if it closes above 4,878, then I'm going to enter a buy position and I'll be holding my position for a very long time, as long as it goes to the next high, simply because this right here is a 4-hour time frame of relative equal lows and a liquidity sweep. And this liquidity sweep was massive. It did happen quite aggressively. So we'll see what happens, guys. And as for the stock market, it's still looking good. As for the Euro USD, it's also looking good. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin is still boring. It's still hanging out in the middle of the box. It's still not moving. Not fun at all. This is a 1-minute time frame. Nothing is happening. Nothing's happening on Bitcoin. And the dollar is still going higher, it seems. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up for today. This has been fun. Please, please, please consider taking proper risk management, guys. 40% loss is a very difficult, painful thing, so please be mindful of that. You don't want to lose your account. So we're going to wrap up and end the stream over here. If you want to learn proper risk management and you want to understand how to read the charts, and you also want to be part of a positive, strong, growing trading community, join our Discord. The link's right there. Just use the QR code, join our Discord group, be a part of the community, learn how to trade and use proper risk management, and just be a part of the conversation. You'll benefit so much, guys. You got my word, because I'll be teaching you. I'll be spending time with you and teaching you with all of my heart, with all of my love. You'll have my full focus and attention to teach you guys how to trade. All right. Yeah, Bitcoin is definitely disappointing. It's a small order of 40%. Okay, then that's fine. I'm really disappointed in Bitcoin. Bitcoin's breaking my heart. Nobody's talking about Bitcoin these days. Bitcoin has just been in the same place. I think the Bitcoin is depressed. This is what depression looks like. I think Bitcoin's depressed. This is exactly what depression looks like. Not going out of the house. It's just always in the same place. You come back the next day, it's still there, like this. It's not going anywhere. All right. This is a long, long depression phase. Hopefully it finds happiness in the coming weeks. All right, guys, it's been a pleasure. Join our Discord, get in touch with me, get in touch with our our community, ask questions, share your analysis. I'll give you guys feedback. I'll even, if you're, one of the few lucky ones, I'll even open up your chart analysis on Discord and share it to the world while I'm streaming, so we can sit and discuss it together. So we can do that sometimes. And use proper risk management. And if you are looking to trade gold today, guys, like I said, wait for this 4-hour candle close and make your analysis based off of that. If it closes above 4,878, it is bullish. If it closes below, it is bearish. That's simple. Don't complicate things. All right, guys. Peace out.